that I guess makes me do this sort of thing is that I'm Irish on both my mother and father's side. So I'm half Irish, and I just kind of thought I'd share that with you and with my friends back here.
Erin go Bra! Erin go Brawless!
But to just give you a little more flavor of my background, I still have some relatives that live in Ireland, and one of them happens to be a very precious old lady, my great aunt. Her name is Murphy, Mrs. Murphy, and as you might imagine, in Ireland they still cling a lot to the old customs, and one of them, of course, is to go to confession on Saturday night to prepare for communion on Sunday morning. And my aunt is no different than all of those other folks. And one particular Saturday night recently, she went down to the little church in her very small village to go to confession. And she came in the door and went up the aisle in the dimly lit church, genuflected, went into the pew and knelt down, took out her rosary beads, and began to pray in preparation for her confession. While she was so praying, the doors opened in the back and a young man came in. And he walked up the middle aisle, genuflected, went into the pew, knelt, prayed for just a moment, got up, and went into the confessional. And he began his confession, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned." But before he could go on, the priest interrupted him, and he said, "I beg your pardon, lad, I don't recognize your voice. Are you from our village?" And the lad said, No, Father, I'm not." And the priest said, "Well, pray tell, what brings you here?" And the boy said, "Well, Father, I'm an acrobat in the traveling circus, and I'm just passing through town." And the priest questioned him about what it is that an acrobat does. And the boy tried to explain, and the priest, having been there a long time and away from the world, really did not understand what it was that an acrobat did. So in desperation, the boy said, "Father," he said, "if we could step out of the confessional for a moment or two into the middle aisle, I could demonstrate to you perhaps what I do and you would understand." And the priest said, "All right." So they came out of the confessional into the middle aisle, and the boy went all the way to the back into the vestibule, and he got a running start, don't you know. And he went up the aisle and he did a somersault. He did a double somersault. Fred and I both have a problem there. A double somersault, and he did a triple somersault, and he ended up right down in front of the altar rail doing a split. And the priest, seeing all of this, understood at last, and he indicated so, and they turned to go back into the confessional. And as they did, my aunt got up and headed for the door. And the priest saw her, and he, knowing that she had not been in a confession yet, called out to her. And he said, Mrs. Murphy, where are you going? You haven't been in a confession yet." She said, "Father, if that's the kind of penance you're giving out tonight, I'm going home and get me bloomers on."